going to do my setup, I'm going to take one blanket and just open it up for padding for my knees. If you're on carpet or you're not feeling tender like I am, then you don't need them. And then I'm going to take my 2 blocks and let that kind of be the base for my pose. And then whatever amount of height you want to put on top of that. Those of you that came on Monday and already know what's coming, the purpose of this here is to just catch you so you don't have to go through that full range of motion in the chaturanga, and then to have you a little bit higher so you don't have to use quite as much effort to come back up. All right, I am not good at chaturanga. I'll go ahead and admit that. And then I'm also nursing a shoulder injury right now. So I'm using the height. But those of you who are pretty good with chaturanga, you can use no height at all if you want to, or you can just lower your height right now if you want to just come down to 2 blankets instead of coming to 1 blanket. That's up to you. All right, we still have a few people coming in. So y'all go ahead and get your setup. So for those of you that just came in, we need a blanket for padding for the knees, and then something that you can use for height here. So that can be a bolster. It can be a stack of blankets. I'm using 2 blocks and then 1 blanket on top of that. Okay, and we're gonna get started. Those of you who are new to 30-minute yoga, just when you wish it was over, it is. It goes fast. We'll build though, we work up towards actions. My intention with this is I'm kind of leading you there from the very beginning, but if you were to work this into your practice, say you wanted to do 5 minutes of this type of work, you can just skip straight to the final actions that we're having. All right, so kneel down onto the blanket that you're using for padding. Curl your toes under. Your knees can be about hip width apart. That's fine. They don't have to be right next to each other. Curl your toes under. And then just feel when you press your toes down into the sticky mat, you feel the hamstring engage. You feel that the hamstring kind of lifts up towards the buttock. This is that same action that we use in Ustrasana. It's a little harder to feel when you have the toenails on the floor though. So we're curling this under. This also gives us a little more stability. Now, take your right foot forward to the edge of the mat. And the action I want you to have here, when we take that foot forward, we sometimes lean into that leg. And you see what happens to the pelvis. So I want the pelvis to stay square, right? So you want to pull from that right knee, pull back to the right hip. And then with your left knee, it's not going to move because you've stuck it to the floor. But with your left knee, try to drag it forward. And that's an isometric contraction there. And you really feel that. You really feel, especially on the leg on the floor, that femur is moving into the socket. So just hold that isometric contraction. And then take your right leg out to the side. Just touch the toe to the floor and then rebend the knee and come back. Step your left foot forward, same thing. Pull back from the knee to the hip on the left side and try to drag that right knee forward. And you just, it should feel kind of nice. You should feel that there's a compactness in the hip, there's an evenness in the pelvis. You're feeling the hamstrings doing some work, right? And then take the left leg out to the side and back down. Take your right leg forward again. Take it a little farther forward this time. So you have to kind of lunge into it. Okay, so you see my left leg is not perpendicular to the floor anymore. right? Knee above the ankle. And then same thing, pull back at the right knee, try to drag your left knee forward. Okay, and then you're gonna place your hands onto the floor. Let your right arm come inside the right leg. You can take that right foot as far over as you need to make room. Okay, but still have that action. Try to pull that right knee back, left knee forward. It's a little less here. And with your hands, push into the floor. So you feel that your floating ribs move up, your abdomen moves up. Okay, now keep the knee above the ankle, straighten your left leg. So you might have to take your left foot back a little bit farther. Okay, and then same thing with the legs straight. Try to pull that left knee towards the hip, right knee towards the hip. So you can kind of see I kind of fall into that right hip, but when I engage, when I bring that left femur into the socket, it levels my hips. Extend through that left leg though so that it's straight. So it's kind of a Virabhadrasana 1, but your hands are on the floor. Now bend your right knee, left knee, sorry. Come back up. Take the right leg out to the side and back down. And let's do that on the left side now. Left leg forward. Take it a little farther forward. So you have to lean forward and get that extension of the right side. Left knee back, right knee forward. Feel the hips compact. Feel the pelvis be very level, very square to that wall across the room from you. And then come down, hands down. Press into the floor. Feel the floating ribs lift up, the abdomen come in, and still pull that left knee back, right knee forward. And then straighten the right leg. Take the foot back if you need to so that you're keeping the knee above the ankle on the left side. Extend through the heel so you straighten the right leg, but then pull that straight leg back toward the hip. Push the floor. Tighten the triceps up onto the bone. And then bend the right knee, come back up. Take the left leg out to the side and back down. All right, so now we're going to take this into a chaturanga. All right, take your right leg forward. Lean forward. Feel that contraction again. Right knee back, left knee forward. Place your hands. Push into the floor. So you're engaging the front of the body. Straighten the left leg, pull the left hip in. Now, take your right leg out to the side. You can touch the floor. Take it back. Don't touch. And then chaturanga down to your support. Toe down. And then come back up. If you need to drop the knees, you can drop the knees. Okay? Come back up and we'll go through that again. Bring the left leg forward. Left knee back, right knee forward. Feel that contraction. Place the hands. Tighten the tricep up onto your humerus bone. Tighten it up. Feel the rib cage lift, the abdomen lift. Straighten the right leg. Completely straight, but pull it back towards the hip socket. Now push the floor, engage the abdominal muscles. Take the left leg out to the side, back, chaturanga down. Toes down, and come back up. If you need to drop the knees, drop the knees. Come back to dog pose. All right, so now we're gonna repeat that from the dog pose. So there won't be the knee down on the floor, okay? Come forward to a plank, straight leg plank, straight arm plank, and swing that right leg forward. Try to bring it all the way forward, ankle under the knee. Straighten the left leg completely, pull back toward the hip. Press with your hands, rib cage up, abdomen in, and then right leg to the side, back, chaturanga down. Okay, and then here you can bend the knees if you need to. Okay, remember, The shoulder blades go to the waist. You start with that upper arm bone parallel to the floor, and you lift up. Back to dog pose. Come forward to your plank and swing that left leg forward. Ankle under the knee. Straighten the right leg completely. Pull it towards the hip socket. Now press the floor. Engage your abdominal muscles as you take the leg to the side, back, chaturanga down. And back up. One more round. Plank. Oh, let me say, if you want to lower your height here, you can lower your height. Those of you that have a nice chaturanga and no shoulder issues, you can lower your height. All right, from dog pose, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Forward, push the floor. Hold that abdomen up and bring that right leg forward, outside the hand. Straighten the left leg completely. Pull that left knee towards the hip. Don't forget, push the floor. Right leg out to the side and back, chaturanga down. Come back up. Dog pose. Plank. Push the floor. Floating ribs in, abdomen in, bring that left leg forward. Right hip moves forward. You're pulling. It's not so much the hip, it's the femur. Push the floor. Take the left leg back. Chaturanga down. Come back up. Dog pose. Bend your knees. Rest back in child's pose. You've got your support there if you want it for your forehead. And I like to bring my arms down by my side after that chaturanga. If you're more comfortable with your arms over your head, you can stay there. Just rest for a couple breaths. We're not done yet. All right, hands by your knees, press to sit up. Now you're going to make a horizontal bolster on the floor. So if you've got a bolster, just use the bolster. If you need to use blocks, you can use blocks. Otherwise, just stack up 2 or 3 blankets to use as a bolster. Okay, so that was the arm work, and now we're going to do a little bit of abdominal work. So watch me first, because you're going to be laying down facing the ceiling, and it's not difficult movements at all. I think if you just watch one round, then you won't have to stare at your screen. I'm laying down with my sacrum on the blankets, but my lower back isn't on the blankets. And my shoulder blades are on the floor. I'm not trying to be in Setu Bandha. With my arms shoulder height, palms up, all right? I'm going to come to Urdhva Prasarita Padasana. Then I'll lower my left leg, so I'm in Supta Padangusthasana 1. Abdomen is in. Okay, then I'm going to twist. My left leg does turn out. And I'm going to twist over to the Parivritta version of Supta Padangusthasana. This foot doesn't touch the floor, right? Foot stays high to the hip. I'll come back up and pause for just a moment and then take the right leg out to the right for Supta Padangusthasana 2. Okay, but it's very abdominal because you're having to hold the weight of your legs with your abdominal muscles. This helps the lower back to be elevated. Okay? I'll talk you through it. Go ahead and lay down. I think falling into that hole off of the bolster setup is about the hardest part of this. Make sure your sacrum is supported. Kind of move your buttocks toward your feet so you're lengthening the lower back. Extend your arms out to the side, just shoulder height. Don't go higher. Just shoulder height. Palms face the ceiling, and you kind of tuck your shoulder blades towards your waist. That helps to keep the chest open. Okay, and then join your feet, join your knees, and lift your knees up over your hips. Okay, and then right here, notice what's happening in your lower back. Okay, don't let the lower back raise up towards the ceiling. Draw that navel down towards the floor. Floating ribs down towards the floor. Just like when you were pushing the floor before, and then straighten the legs. Okay, now pressurize the backs of your hands. Keep the navel in and lower that left leg. Just, it can be in line with your torso or parallel to the floor. Try to keep your legs nice and straight. Keep the abdomen in. Press into your left hand and turn your belly to the right as you take that right leg over to the right. The right side of your sacrum will come up. Bring the right hip over the left hip. Right leg to the left. Yeah. All right, and then turn the belly back to the right, come up. And now press into the right hand, turn the belly to the left, and take the right leg over to the right. Extend through those legs. Keep that navel in. Right leg up, left leg up, bend your knees. Take a little break, and then we'll do the other side. All right. Tuck your shoulder blades, make any adjustments on the bolster. Sometimes you wiggle around on the bolster. And then feet together, knees over the hips, straighten the legs. Just straight up into the air, 90 degrees. Draw that navel down towards the floor. And then you'll lower the right leg, but extend through the legs. Don't let them bend. Hold the abdomen in. So you're holding that weight of the legs from the abdominal muscles. Now, let your right leg turn out. Take your left leg over to the right. Turn the belly to the left. And you're bringing that left hip all the way above the right hip. Turn your belly to the left. Try to keep your left shoulder down. And then come back to center. And then turn the belly to the right, take the leg over to the left. So you're in Supta Padangusthasana. 2, navel in, don't let that lower back arch. And then bring the left leg up, bring the right leg up, bend your knees, and set your feet back down onto the floor. Okay, now we're gonna do the exact same thing, but we're going to start with bent knees. And what I want you to imagine is that I'm there in your home practice space, and as you're trying to straighten your legs, I'm pushing back. Okay, so you have to forcefully extend the legs, and then once they're straight, you're still extending them. There's energy in them. Right, so turn your palms towards the ceiling, shoulder blades towards your waist. Buttocks away from your waist. Join your feet and your knees and bring your knees, and this time bring them closer in towards your chest. Dorsiflex your feet, pull your toes towards your shins. Okay, because I've got my hands on the bottoms of your feet. Now keep your right leg bent, but extend your left leg parallel to the floor, like you're pushing that leg away from you. So when it gets straight, there's a lot of energy in it. And then same thing with your right leg, push it up towards the ceiling. Let there be a ton of energy in it. Navel in. And then bend both legs. All right, and you're gonna do both legs at the same time. Okay, so we'll go straight, we'll go bent, we'll go straight, we'll go bent. All right, so knees are in towards the chest. Draw your navel in. Don't let that navel lift up. Okay, your left leg will go parallel to the floor. Your right leg will go up. Extend. But you're pushing, because I'm there. I'm making you resist. Keep the navel in. Keep that energy in the legs. and bend. Extend. Forcefully push them. You're trying to push me like you're Wonder Woman. Bend. One more time. Extend. Look at your leg and see the definition of that quadricep because it's so intense. Bend. All right, now you might have to scoot over to the right-hand side of your blankets a little bit. I don't know. We're going to take these bent knees and we're going to roll them over to the left. Stack the hips. Try to keep the right shoulder down. Turn the belly to the right. And we're going to do the same thing. So we'll do one at a time first. All right, I'm there. I'm pushing on your left foot. Straighten your left foot parallel to the floor. Now straighten your right leg perpendicular to the left. Forcefully. All right, bend. Straighten. Extend both of them, but push them. Make them have a lot of energy. Bend. Extend. Bend. Extend. Bend. Come back to center. Let's just set the feet down onto the floor for a minute and rest. Now, are you seeing where this is ultimately heading? All right, this is heading ultimately to Ekapada Kundalini 1, the arm balance. And it's also Parshva Bakasana, side crow, side crane. Okay, but we have to be able to have the hips flexed tightly, and we have to learn to extend the legs with purpose, not just flail about. All right, so we're doing that here without all that arm balancing work. All right, shoulder blades towards the waist, buttocks away from the waist, bend your knees in towards your chest. We'll do one at a time first, all right? So this time, your right leg extends parallel to the floor. Push it, all right? And then push that left leg up towards the ceiling. Bend the knees. Now we'll do both at the same time, all right? Really pull those toes so you start to feel the energy in the legs, and then push. Right leg parallel, left leg up. Don't let the energy stop. Bend. Keep the navel down. Extend. Bend. Keep the navel down when you extend. Extend. Bend. Okay? If you feel like you need to move over to the left a little bit before you roll to your right, you can do that. Otherwise, with those bent knees, it's kind of a Jatara Parivartanasana here. Keep your belly turning to the left. Try to keep the left shoulder down. If your left shoulder raises up on you, bring your left arm down towards the bolster, and that might help. All right, one leg at a time here. Dorsiflex the feet firmly, and then like your Wonder Woman, push that right leg parallel to the floor, and then push that left leg across. There's your Ekapada Kundalini 1. Bend. Here's Parshva Bakasana with the knees bent. Extend both legs with purpose. Bend. All right, extend. Turn that belly. Bend and extend. And bend. Come back to center. Pull your knees in towards your chest. You might slide off the bolster a little bit. That's okay. We're done with it finally. Set your feet down onto the floor. Okay, and then it's kind of a combination of pushing the support away from you and wiggling yourself towards your head. Get that support so that your buttocks are down on the floor now. And then position yourself so that it's comfortable to cross your legs and let them rest onto the bolster. We're done with the hard part. We're just going to relax and breathe here now. Little afternoon nap. Let your legs be crossed onto the bolster. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling. Tuck the shoulder blades towards your waist. Take a couple of nice deep breaths. Let your legs relax. If they kind of fall off of your support, that's fine, but try to let them release. Let your arms release. Do the opposite cross of your legs now. Let the legs be heavy, let the arms be heavy. You can either just follow a normal breath, or if you'd like to lengthen either the inhalation or the exhalation or both, you can do a little ujjayi breathing here. Now just quietly straighten both of your legs. They can just rest on your bolster there. Take your legs feet wide or feet close together, whichever one feels nicer to you. Let the legs release, let the arms release. Soften your abdomen. We did a lot of gripping of the abdominals. Let them just go now. Soften your throat. Your throat is soft if it's easy to swallow. And you might have to adjust the position of your head to find that softness. Release your jaw. Let your tongue pull away from your teeth. Quiet your inner ears. It's a weird instruction to say soften and quiet the inner ears. But if you really concentrate, you will feel it. Soften your eyes. Release the muscles of your face, your forehead, and the crown of your head. Let your attention be on your breath. If you would like to stay for a little bit longer, Shavasana, please do. If it's time for lunch, time to get back to work, take a couple of deep breaths. On an inhalation, bend your elbows, rest your palms on your torso. Bend your knees and rest your feet onto the floor. And since we don't have anything under the head here, whichever direction is best for you to turn in your space, take that arm over your head, and then as you roll to your side, you'll have your upper arm to kind of support the head, so you're not crunching your neck. And then press with your arms and your hand to sit up. Keep your head low and your eyes closed. Take a moment to thank yourself for coming to class and continuing your practice. And slowly raise your head. Slowly open your eyes. Namaste. Lovely to see all of you. Thanks for coming.